In this barn behind me is a rather unusual car, and I like things that are a little bit different, and this really is a different kind of car. In fact, it's a little bit royal, so stay tuned. We have this huge gull wing bonnet. It has these fabulous exhaust pipes. This rather splendid interior, automatic transmission, and this lace glass. This is a 1974 Jaguar Royale. But the story of this car is rather intriguing, since Jaguar didn't make a Jaguar Royale in 1974, or indeed at any other time. So where has this car come from, and who built it? This car has a resemblance to the Jaguar Mk, which was built by Jaguar from 1948 to 1951 and was available as a 4-door saloon and a 2-door convertible known as a drop-head coupe, with enough room for 5 people. It was the first Jaguar with independent front suspension, hydraulic brakes, disc centre brakes, sealed headlamps and flashing turn signals, and the first with fender skirts, but the last model to use the push-rod engine. So, whoever created this car could have been influenced by this model. Then forward 15 years to 1991, and John and Anne Barlow created the Royal Motor Company, which were 2-door luxury convertibles which looked similar to 1930s Bentleys, using a Jaguar XJ6 donut engine, and called it the Royale Drophead. They also created a V6 Royal Sabre with a Sierra, Granada and Scorpio donor. You could buy a fully built car for £20,000 in 1992, or a kit version for £5,000 plus VAT. Then in 1998 they created the very prestigious Royale Windsor, specifically designed for wedding use. It had 4 doors with room for 5 people, which was very spacious. In fact, the model we're looking at had once been a wedding car. But this still doesn't explain this Jaguar Royale, which is from a much earlier period. I spoke to Steve Payne to see if he had any further information on the car. So Steve, what do we have in here?
We have a Jaguar 66, 5.3 litre power plant.
Right.
Only got 16,000 miles from new.
Wow.
This engine.
Yeah.
What the whole car has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 1974, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
1974 Royale, Jaguar Royale.
Yep.
But it's got other bits. What else has it got?
Yeah, so in here we find some British Leyland equipment.
Yep.
And also some Mercedes parts are in here too.
Right, okay.
So it's got a whole Daimler-Benz feel about it.
With MG doors.
And MG doors,
Yeah.
yeah.
So how did you come upon it?
Basically I was invited by my old boss, ironically, who's a bit of a heavyweight in the world of classic cars. We had a mutual friend who was a collector, and he collected weird and wonderful artifacts and cars and whatnot, and sadly he passed last year, so he picked up his estate and all his collection, and he just contacted me asking if I'd be interested in this car.
Right.
So I've just kind of offered to sell it for him,
Right,
really, is
okay.
what I do, so it was just something of interest.
Yeah.
And here we are with
Yeah,
it.
and it's a really interesting piece, isn't it?
It really is, yeah.
The car was once used as a wedding vehicle, and as you can see, back then it was cream. The passenger seat was removed so the bride and groom could easily access the car, but now it's painted in a fantastic Mercedes silver. Okay, so Steve, I want to talk about these pipes because they look fantastic, but they're not real, are they?
They look fantastic, and yes, correct, they're not real. They're what I call the fake lakes, as in lake pipes that are not real. Obviously there's 12 of them.
Yeah.
It has a stainless straight through double pipe that comes out a rear exit, as it should. But you know, they look the part.
They do.
They're very intricate, and there's some lovely detailing on them.
Yeah.
It would be lost without them, really.
Well, what do you think? Fake ones or no fake ones? Let us know in the comments below. Leave a message. Do you think it spoils it, or do you think they look great with it? Let us know. As we've said, this car is made up of many different components, And the emblem on the front, it isn't a Jaguar like we normally would get.
No, it's kind of sort of Duesenberg-esque type thing.
Yeah,
very similar.
which would have been from an American car.
Yeah.
It's got a lady sort of holding her hair up as it sort of waves off. It's rather nice, actually.
Yeah, it's a bit like being the driver. That's how you feel when, you're driving it.
Do any of you know what this is? Do you recognise it? Let us know in the comments below if you recognise what this emblem is and what car this possibly could have come from. So here we are inside the Royale, and it's a really interesting drive. It really wants to go, doesn't it, Steve?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And this fantastic long bonnet stretched out in front of you. And it's a bit of a beast, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Yeah.
It really is. Very powerful car.
So Steve, I'm still trying to work out where this car's come from, because we've looked at the history of the Royal cars, the original 1948 Mark V Jaguar. Where's this come from, do you think? Because it's on the logbook as a Jaguar Royale. Yeah?
Yeah, on my logbook it states it's a Royal Cars Royale.
Right.
Jaguar.
Yeah.
It's basically a Jaguar.
But who made it? Who put it together? That's the bit we'd like to know, all the bits. Whoever did it. It's a really fascinating and interesting car.
Yeah, all I do know is there's another one in America.
Right.
In Los Angeles there's another one. And
what colour's that one?
I can't remember the colour, but after tracking someone down regarding these cars, they explained to me that there's another one. It's a foot longer.
Wow.
It's actually a foot extended.
Right.
And we believe they are the only two in existence that are all steel. And when Royal Cars recreated these in the late 80s, early 90s, I think a lot of them are fiberglass parts, but this is all steel.
Which makes it a bit special.
Yeah.
So this is equivalent to what would have been known as a drop head, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Going back to, say, for example, the Jaguar Mark V from 1948.
Late 40s, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously this is a do-it-yourself roof.
Manual roof, two clips, and it's
put
back.
it over. Yeah. And originally would have had cream interior, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would have had a cream interior to match the roof. Ultimately, if you was to keep it black, interior black, black roof would be really nice. But you know, it works.
Yeah.
It's functional.
It is.
It's
yeah.
good.
And so you're looking for someone to buy this, aren't you?
Yeah, it's for sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up for sale at the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you see yourself in this lovely Jaguar Royale? If so, let us know, get in touch, and I can put you in touch with Steve. But don't forget, as always, to make sure you subscribe. And if you like stories about classic cars, make sure you watch these videos.